Each of us lives dependent and bound by our individual knowledge and our awareness. All that is what we call reality. However, both knowledge and awareness are equivocal. One's reality might be another's illusion. We all live inside our own fantasies.
What's good, y'all, man? Back at it again with another crazy video, man. And today's topic, we're gonna talk about chains and tethers, man. Now, there's been a lot of new stuff going around on social media about chain spots and dogs and everything like that. So today we're gonna cover that in this video. Specifically, we're gonna talk about the American Pit Bull Terrier in this video. But when we start talking about specific chain laws and things of that nature, we're gonna bring up topics about how all dogs should be housed on chains, the advantages, the disadvantages, and the history with the American Pit Bull Terrier and chain spots. So get ready for this video, man, because it's gonna be a doozy. So as we all know, there's multiple ways how you can house dogs. But one of the best ways I've actually found when it comes to housing dogs that actually needs to be housed outside are chains. Now, I know what a lot of y'all thinking, OMG, chaining a dog is cruel, it's this and this and that. I'm going to tell you multiple reasons why in this video. It's actually not, and when done ethically, it's one of the best ways to house working line dogs. I'm talking about a specific type of dog, and that is the working dog, the dog that has a job, not dogs that just sit on the couch all day, don't really have much drive and all this and that. Not talking about dogs, I'm not talking about pets, I'm talking about working dogs in this video. Now, as we all know, people do bad things and good things when it comes to it, but let the media hold it together, man, and they're gonna make it seem like everybody who houses dogs on chains does it wrong, because it pushes their narrative and it gains them more attention and they make more money, yes sir, that green, off of displaying such pictures. Everything's a money gamble, and if they don't show both sides of the story, most of the time you're looking at a biased source. Now, there are plenty of advantages to keeping a dog on a chain. For one, an advantage of keeping a dog on a chain opposed to a kennel or being in a house is that it's confined to one area, so you always know where your dog is. The second advantage is the dog can move around more. Think about it, for instance, if you have a 10-foot chain and a complete circle, that dog has more movement per square inch than any kennel out there, even on the ground kennels. It's a lot of space for a dog. It's actually a good way to keep a dog exercise if it wants to run and move around. It doesn't gain weight as quickly on a chain spot. But you know, normal people don't look at it like that. They don't look at it like that. And plus, if you're keeping them on a chain, you're keeping them outside the house. While because there are a lot of dangers in the house that dogs are not aware of because they're not people. They don't know these certain things. So it's a lot safer to keep a dog on a chain spot often. But however, that does correlate to the breed that you have. I would not go put a pooch out there on a chain because those dogs are not hardy breeds. They weren't made to be in conditions like that, and they haven't evolved to be in conditions like that. Those are not the type of breeds that could thrive being on a chain. It makes no sense to take a Yorkie and then put it on a chain spot and then you go out there and it's not doing so well. That's because that dog hasn't been bred like the other dogs that are usually on these chain spots. We're gonna get into some rules when it comes to keeping dogs on chains. Number one, you do not put no puppy chain on no adult. Number two, you do not put no adult chain on no puppy. Number three, you always keep the area around the dog clean and you keep the grass cut. That keeps all the bugs and stuff out your yard. You'll have less problems with your dogs. Number four, make sure you cleaning their water, changing their water, and giving them food every single day. And then the fifth and final rule is to not always keep that dog in the same spot. Rotate dogs around different spots when you're not working them on certain days. Now, I don't believe that dogs should stay on there 24/7 every single day. I believe you should take the dog off at least sometimes, walk it a couple times and things of that nature. Keep the dog well stimulated, which is what a lot of people do. But I'm going to explain in a minute how the media likes to go about things. So as we all know it, we know that the media does not like chains on dogs. But that is specifically because of many organizations like PETA that hate chains. And I'm going to tell you why they, quote unquote, hate chains. Number one, and their believability. They believe that putting a chain on an animal makes it more aggressive, i.e. makes it less workable, is unfit for the dog, and brings health problems. But all of their reasons why dogs shouldn't be on chains are very flawed. And in fact, a lot of the stuff that they say about dogs are actually very false. So PETA likes to do something that I call describing minority over majority. And what this means is they're going to go and they're going to find the most poorest looking dogs, and they're going to take pictures of those dogs on those chain spots done wrong by people who don't understand things, and they're going to take those pictures and say that everybody who houses a dog on a chain does it like this, and this is why it's so cruel, and this is why it should be banned. In fact, there are probably thousands of people that house dogs on chains, including myself, that do it right, but there's always going to be those 10 or 12 people that do it wrong, and those people, all they need is a little guidance and education to house dogs properly on chains. But that does not mean you sit here and make laws or try and make laws that restrict people for keeping dogs on chains when they have very ethical reasons, like protecting one's house or alerting them to intruders, maybe trying to rob their house. But I find it funny how PETA is one of the biggest organizations pushing for the opposition of chains, yet they don't even save majority of the animals that they get. Studies have found that actual PETA's euthanization rates for cats and dogs are exponentially higher than other shelters within the states. Actually, and it's crazy, a study was found in 2019 that out of the 2,400 dogs and cats received at PETA Norfolk shelter, 1,500 of them were euthanized. It got so bad that even the Virginia state lawmakers issued a bill that basically states that they have to control how many animals they euthanize, and that a shelter is supposed to be a place for animals to find a home and not send them to an early grave. So that says a lot about PETA in itself. But along with PETA and other organizations pushing for the end of chains, Texas, California, along with 21 other states and the District of Columbia, all got laws opposing chains or have certain restrictions when it comes to chains or tethering an animal outside. And it's because a lot of people have been blinded by the media and voting on certain things that aren't really correlating to what happens in real life. They're looking at the media and thinking that's the truth. And they're looking at biased media. They're not even looking at media that shows both sides of the story, like this video is doing. So after I just said all that, I know you are wondering, well, Brendan, what does this have to do with pit bulls, the game dogs? Well, if you didn't know, this is almost one of the best ways to house American Pit Bull Terriers when it comes to housing them outside, because it's reliable. Chains last longer. If you have kennels, they don't get as much space as they need. And a lot of game dogs, American Pit Bull Terriers are really outside dogs. They don't really like being confined inside of a house. And a good chain spot setup is a good way to house these dogs. Now, you can house ground kennels too and other things like that, but it doesn't give them as much movement and as much freedom as their chain spots. A lot of my dogs in my yard actually prefer their chain spots over their kennels, and they've been kept like this for a very long time. They've been kept like this because people learn from their mistakes of trying to house these dogs together in certain ways, and now this is the reason why they are housed. They're housed because they are very dog and animal aggressive. That's what a game dog is supposed to be. And they are like this because of over 200 years of selective breeding for the special temperament that the real pit bull has. Now, I know you're wondering why. Yes, this video was made to bring awareness about false propaganda spread about chains, but also I wanted to show y'all the differences between good chain spots and bad chain spots. And the breed that takes the most consequences of these tethering and chaining laws is going to be the American Pit Bull Terrier. And that's simply because this is the breed that type of setup is best for. And this is how they've been kept, and they've literally evolved to thrive off of these types of housing tools. But let me know what you think in the comments, man. Like I said, comment, like, and subscribe for more content like this. I know you'll be waiting on it. Share my videos with your friends. We're trying to go up in 2022. Let's get it.